All right, so it says we're recording. Mr. Ty Main Claim.
All right.
Ty Main Clay, film producer, writer, and director, joining Truth Pays. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, and taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a lot going on. Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. Yeah.
Sure.
I can hear you. The mic. Are you using the mic on your computer?
Somewhat.
Are you using the mic on your
Yes.
computer, or okay? I see. You bring it a little closer, maybe.
Yeah, I'm using the mic on my computer.
Let me
Let
see.
me bring it a little closer and see if that helps you.
Yeah.
How does it sound?
Oh, this sounds a little better. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. Like after,
Okay.
usually I hear it a little louder, so I wasn't sure if after processing the Zoom video, if it's going to, if you're going to be loud enough for everybody to hear. So yeah, sometimes I get closer too.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so I see a
I can get closer and I can get louder too.
nice. Yeah, maybe a little louder. So
Okay.
Tamain, so first let me ask you, what's with the poster behind you? Is that the movie that's coming out?
That's the movie poster right here. Both of them right here.
All right.
Give it a little show.
Oh, Fever Breaks. When the
I
fever?
use it more to
Now I hear you. Great. Go ahead.
when the fever breaks.
Right.
Yeah. I'm using it most of the time right now, not to be conceited, but basically to keep the light from shining into the house at the moment. But
The mic's great, by the way. Now I hear you great.
but thank you.
So
Perfect. But go ahead.
yeah, so this is very exciting. I like the poster. Does it have an award there? I see on the poster. I see some, like, what's that?
It won a few film awards. It won at the Golden State Film Festival over at the Chinese Man Theater in Los Angeles. It won at the New York NYFTA.
Okay.
It won Best Thriller there. It won Best Horror at the Golden State Film Festival. It won a few awards. It won at the Sholo Film Festival as well, and it won even Best Trailer at the monthly movie film festival. So it won a few awards here.
Now,
Happy to say.
How did you react? Were you? I mean, obviously you do good work. Obviously you're passionate. Obviously you put blood, sweat, and tears and everything into it, and obviously you're talented. But at the same time, I think this is the first one you submitted, right, for these? And how did you react?
Yes, it is.
How shocked were you? How surprised? I mean, no matter who you are, it must feel like a little.
I admit I was extremely nervous going through the process, because, as a first timer, you're not really expecting to win too much because you're just dipping your toe in the water, if you will. But I was definitely happy when it started winning stuff, and I was also happy for all the actors and those who worked on the film, because a couple of them won a couple of awards, and I'm happy for them on that, because it's one of those things where you want everyone to realize how hard everybody worked on this film, and that they put a lot of passion in it, and that they wanted it to be something that will be enjoyable for everybody to watch. So I look at it as more of you guys enjoyed the film, more than the second that I won and I won something. I'm like, this means you guys enjoyed the film. This means you guys were happy with the product that we all worked so hard to put together for you guys. And I'm glad it showed.
What do you think it was about? Because obviously you built out other films, so this film had something the other films that were also good, but didn't have enough to win. So what do you think it was about the film, like whether it's story or execution?
I think it took things in a very interesting, different way that a lot of people haven't seen before. Especially in regards to, because my film is basically about a zombie virus plague. that is spreading across the town. And the difference thing is that a lot of people got basically a zombie plague that spread across the town. Most of the people are infected and running around, and these 7 people are quarantining themselves around the house to try to save themselves from this wave of from the zombie plague. And lo and behold, one of them, my main character,
Sounds like
finds herself getting exposed / infected and only has 2 hours to live before she possibly turns. And now all her friends see her as a threat. And because they see her as a threat, she now sees them as a threat. And basically she has to try to fight her friends, fight the zombie place, fight the zombies outside. So she's doing a lot of fighting when she also has a 9-year-old daughter that she's trying to make sure that sees the next morning as well. So it was very interesting. It was very psychological, as well as horror, as well as a little bit thrill element and quarantine effect, which I think hits a little bit to home right now, especially since most of us are being quarantined right now. So it hit those elements.
wow. And I think you probably wrote this before the pandemic happened, right?
Yes, I did, which was I wrote it before the pandemic happened, and then I was like, there's a lot of irony coming across right about now. But yeah, this happened. I wrote this we wrote this about 5 years ago.
So what inspired it?
And we put
And what?
actually something totally what had inspired it actually was my wife and I, we were at a writing studio trying to figure out what our first project should be and how to do a first project when you're investing basically your own money into it. Right. And we got a call actually from my mom, and we found out that she had cancer.
Okay.
At the time. She's fine now. But at the time she had cancer, and we were worried about whether or not she was going to live.
Okay.
Huh?
Early stage?
It was early enough for them to catch it and for them to deal with it. So she's now she's good. She's in remission now, which was great. But when we found it, I had to cope with that. So I was coping with, what would you do if something was eating inside you and you had to deal with it alone to some degree? And so it came from there. And then obviously I zombified it and made a different type of story where instead of people coming close who want to be around you, everyone's telling you to go away before I kill you. But that's where it started from. That's what kind of created that part of the process.
Wow. So the act, I'm going to use your word. I don't know if I was really aware of this word before, zombifying it. So I like the idea, but if you ask me right now to zombify a film and make all the scenes and sequences, because I've seen some zombie films, I know what's involved, I'd be like, if I were to produce it, I'd have a lot of studying, execution, like this would be a project. Now, how are you able to execute something like that? Like maybe if you asked me to do a film, maybe I could do a film on like 2 people in a relationship, like a basic scene. Hello, oh, I love you. Finish. That's easy to do for me. But how do you zombify with the makeup and the, can you talk about that?
Well, number one,
yeah,
you have to learn, like I said, I was the first timer.
Right.
So basically I'm the novice in the group.
Right.
So knowing that you are the novice in the group,
mm-hmm.
you basically must make sure that everybody else are the experts. So you hire well.
Right.
Because you're already the novice. So you hire well, you hire all the experts that you can possibly find. I hired people who work on stuff from Aquaman, the movie that came out. He was one of our makeup effects guys.
Wow.
He also worked on the new Dark Crystal miniseries.
Right. So Aquaman, because it got a little quiet. I'm just going to repeat.
Hire a good stunt coordinator.
Okay.
Oh. So yeah, I can say it again. I was saying that you hire well. I hire a makeup effects person who basically worked on certain movies like Aquaman.
Right.
And he worked on the new Dark Crystal series. So I hire people like that.
These guys are pros. These are all movies.
A good stunt coordinator.
Right. Stunt coordinator. Okay. Wow.
You hire a good stunt coordinator who can help with the stunts and everything, and make sure that everybody do the stunts safely because most of the stunts were done by the actors themselves.
And
So we
people
had to
died
make
during
sure
stunts. I
that
read
they
about it.
all, including the little girl.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, including the little girl. So we all had to do stunts safely and carefully. And yeah, he was like,
By the way,
he
do
was
you
good.
appear
He
in
was
the
really
movie?
good at
Because I
making
know
sure
you
he was
have.
one of the actors too, but he was good at making sure
Okay.
everybody.
Do you appear in the movie, by the way, or no?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. It
Oh
was,
no, I'm not doing that.
okay. Okay.
They
Your
tried to get me
days
to
are
do that. I
behind
said
you.
no, I'm not doing
What's
that.
that?
They tried to get me to do that. I said no, I'm not doing that.
Oh no, right?
They got me one time to do the only way you're gonna see me, you'll see me only in the poster.
Okay.
That's it. They got me to do the poster.
Oh, are you in that
Which is
poster?
right behind me. One of the zombies. I won the zombies.
Oh, I see. I'm
But other than that, that was the only time I did it.
I'm sure
Other
that
than that, I did not touch it.
I'm sure the crew got a kick and the actors got a kick out of you being in the poster, at least being a zombie, at least one time.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They finally got me.
I'm sure you remember that. Oh, you talked about at the beginning, like the financing. So can you talk about like both, financing a film, like the options? Some of the Truth Pays audience, some of them want to be film directors or want to get into entertainment. Some want to be actors. Other people want to start businesses, want to become virtual reality augmented specialists, all this stuff. So for people who are new or trying to get into the industry, especially film, maybe someone trying to do a film director, can you talk about the new financial game? Because now you have Netflix, you have Amazon, you have different ways of finance. Can you talk about on the front end, the financing part, and on the back end, the making money part?
Sure. So for the front end part of financing, there's obviously several options you can go. You can either get someone to finance your film for you.
Okay.
Do the whole call the dentist, call the doctors, see who would be interested in making a movie with you. And if you have a good enough product, they may want to jump in because a lot of people want to do movies. But for my approach was that I made my 9 to 5 work for me. I had a 9 to 5 job basically, and I made some money and I saved up some money and made my own film and saved my vacation time and said, okay, I got 1.5 months to shoot this. And I'm taking on vacation time right now. Go. Let's make this happen. And for me personally, I like the approach of having your own money because therefore there's nobody else you need to pay back but yourself. If there's a loss, there's no pressure but yours, and things like that. And in this day and age, you can make movies very much cheaper than you could way back when. I mean, because keep in mind, people say low budget films. $1 million is a low budget film. $5 million is a low budget film.
Right.
Most people don't have $1 million and $5 million to make a movie.
That's not even Mission Impossible, I'm guessing.
You may have 50,000. Right, exactly. Mission Impossible, you better crank that to make that million some three digits. 235 million, 125 million. But for most people have maybe 10 grand, 5 grand, 15, 20 at most, and that's scraping together. So you got to realize what can you do. And this is one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, especially when you're coming out. When people ask you as a writer to write creatively, I had to learn this myself. I was quite creative. I can be very creative. I can think of dragons, monsters, a whole bunch of creative stuff. They're not talking about that. They're talking about, can you stretch $1? Can you make something happen with no money? That's what they mean when they say be creative. So you got to think Quentin Tarantino style, if you will. The one movie I always thought of was Reservoir Dogs. A heist movie that doesn't show the heist. It shows you what happened before the heist. It shows you what happened after the heist. It showed you one scene of somebody shooting during the heist. That was it. That was the heist movie. And it was like, he thought creatively, and that's why he's a millionaire right now. That's what they want to see. So can you be creative? So I had to be creative on my end. I had to do my thing in basically one location. I didn't have the money to make it 40 different locations. So I had put my thing in one location, and what can I do with what I have? And how can I keep a horror movie very tense, very suspenseful, very horror as well with what I have? And I think I was able to succeed with that, but we had to all be creative.
Wow. All right. So from the other end, so you made the movie. It's you got contracts coming through. It's set for release. Clearly, the hard work created a great project that won a lot of awards. Now, from the making money part on the scene, how does that happen?
That happens usually due getting a good distributor.
Okay.
And that's the hard part.
Okay.
That is the hardest part of the whole deal. It's
Even
like,
more than the creating.
People
part
think
and stretching the dollar.
yes, because the creative part is the fun part, but I always tell people, and it's very difficult to realize it, because especially if you're an artist, but it is the movie business. Movie, the creative side is an adjective. The business part is the noun. That is the part that you have to really be aware of. And you have to realize that what you're doing is you still got to sell a product. And all that stuff you did before, that creative stuff, was you creating a product. That's all you did was create the product. You're not gonna sell it. so I think else already had the product already made. You had to go from scratch and create that product. Now you need to do the part that you actually supposedly started out, which is making the part happen and selling it. So you have to have a good distributor or sales agent. You have to have something marketable. So you have to hope to God that whatever your product was is still marketable and everlasting, no matter what happens. I said, like my film has to deal with quarantine and has to deal with zombie horror and stuff like that. So right now, unfortunately, it's marketable. Unfortunately, because we all have to suffer through this pandemic ourselves,
right?
And that is an unfortunate thing. But we all also need an outlet as well, and my film falls under that outlet need. But you also have to find something that's everlasting and sustainable. Because once obviously the crisis passed, can my film still be marketable when there's no more pandemic?
I think so.
And you gotta, and you think it should still be so, because it still is a zombie film. It still is a good element of building and stuff like that. But you got to understand the elements that come in play, and you have to understand how can you sell it and how can you market your film. And you have to understand it, and you have to make sure the distributor understands that as well. How can they market a film
and that's
to make it last? Not just now, but sorry. Huh?
That's the hard part you're talking about, right? Making sure that
that's the hard part.
Well,
make sure you understand, because keep in mind the distributor, and this is where the hard part comes in. The distributor's not just distributing your film; they're distributing hundreds of films, maybe 20 to hundreds of films. So with that being said, it's back on you now to make it stand out again from those 20 to hundreds, to make it go, hey, it's going to be it. Even if I get it on, let's say you get it on Netflix, okay, Netflix shows anywhere between hundreds of films to 1,000. How will they find yours? So again, you're back to marketing your film. You're back to showing, you maybe doing grassroots to let people know that your film's out here. You're trying to see what makes your film different than other stuff. So there's a lot of things that come in play that you have to really advance on. And you have to just get your name out there. That's why a lot of times, a lot of people like to use celebrities, if you will, to put their film. Even the celebrities in the film for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but they can use that person's stuff and that person is in the film. Like I remember Wes Craven's Scream, and I remember the trailer. spoil for anybody who hasn't seen Scream. That's been out for like 30 years now. But I remember the trailer showing saying, and Drew Barrymore. I timed that.
I
She
wanna
was in the
watch
film
that.
about 10 minutes at most. 10 minutes. I think how that was opening credits. So no, she was, but they showed up and why? Because it's sellable, it's marketable. You get the Drew Barrymore fans in there. So
Right.
you want something that's marketable in there.
Been building fans from
Fortunately, Zombies marketable.
yeah.
Huh?
She's been building fans from the
Yeah,
East.
so you
She's probably got millions of any film she appears in for 5 minutes now. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sure, she's
yeah, so you definitely want people, you definitely want something that can market. Now here's the problem that you have at the beginning filmmaker. Most of you don't have the actor
right,
that can sell your film.
right.
You know, if you did, you probably blew your budget on them because they probably cost $50,000 for one day.
Right. If they're
And
not
you
gonna
have to
use
go,
it within
okay.
right. Yeah, 50. Yeah.
Right. You should know they're seeing
Yeah.
that one day because you're
Right.
not getting them next day.
Oh, and that's only one day, 50 grand.
So, but once you're not having that, so what else do you have?
Right.
So you got to then go with a good product that's interesting to
Right.
most people, that can last besides the fad. You don't want to do something that is time dated because after a certain point in time, then it's over and then people are not really into it anymore. You want to build, if anything, a good following,
Right.
So that's what you want.
I see. And then, so nowadays, you were talking a little bit about this before. First of all, let me just try and re-snap that because I love what you said there. And I don't know if I've ever heard it like this, either with the music business or the film business. But I think what you called it was movie business. The movie is the adjective and the business is the noun.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, so listen, so it's a business. That's the noun. It's still a business. So it could be the
Right.
movie business. I think this is what Tom
Right.
is trying to say. It could be movie business. It could be the music business. It could be entertainment business, but it's still business. And that's the main part.
Right.
So if you want to succeed, recognize the noun. Right? Okay.
Right. Exactly.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's mind blowing. I love that.
Recognize the noun.
Recognize the noun. Second part is nowadays, it sounds like it might even be easier to track. Can you talk a little bit about like if someone watches like 10 minutes on the Netflix or 20 minutes, what the difference is money is, how it's tracked, whatnot?
I know with Amazon, and it's funny how they say it. I believe in Amazon, it is like if somebody watches, because the way they track the film, basically how long they watch it. Basically how long they watch it, you get a certain percentage.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly for Amazon, if you watch it for about 10 minutes and you turn it off, then obviously you get nothing because they didn't like your movie. They turned it off. 10 minutes, you didn't keep but if you can get them past maybe I believe the 30-minute mark,
Right.
you'll get like a penny.
Okay.
And if you get them past the hour mark, I believe you get 5 cents in the beginning per hour.
And that could obviously.
And so,
and that,
yeah,
that
so
can add up
obviously you can tell like you get like 5 cents per hour. It's gonna take a lot of people to generate a buck for you. So you gotta get a lot of revenue, you gotta get a lot of volume with you. People want to watch your movie. And then from that, they will cut you a check. And that's one of the reasons why it's good to have it streaming on multiple platforms, so you can have options of people grabbing your film everywhere. And then that's Amazon. Every other place is different.
Right.
So
Just an example.
I don't know what the Netflix one is. Yeah, but everyone's different. But it's basically based on how much time is watched. So
Right.
you want people to actually want to watch your film, make it to the end credit. They can hate it still, but at least make it to the end credit. But hopefully they like it, obviously. Because you want to watch your next film too. If they remember your name, they really hate it.
Netflix always says, since you watch that, let us recommend this for you. Right?
Right, exactly. And you want to build a catalog of stuff with your name eventually. So you want them to like your stuff, and you want them to recognize that people who like this movie may also like your film. So it goes vice versa. Because you like your film, you might watch this. Because you like this film, they seem to like this film too, which is yours. And you want that, symmetry.
I'm sure Netflix also has algorithms.
You want that recognition.
That once they see, like, they want people to be into it. So if they notice that someone hovers over your film and sees the trailer and they end up clicking, they'll probably show your film more, I'm guessing. So like,
I
yeah.
I believe they would. I believe they would definitely do that and show the film more.
Yeah. And then, like, do you have any idea? Because I'm not sure, like, approximately how many films is like on the Netflix or Amazon? You think it's like a few thousand, few hundred, or no idea?
I think it's a few thousand out there, which is where the real fun part of the game comes in play. It's
Right.
How do you make your needle very shiny in that haystack,
Right.
so it can be viewed.
That's a lot of
People can find it.
right. And
Yes, that's a lot of polishing on your part to make your needle shine bright.
right. So when can I
So you definitely want to do stuff.
when's it coming out?
When can you what? I'm sorry.
When the Fever Breaks come out?
We're shooting for October.
Okay.
We're trying to shoot for October. We don't know definitely yet, but we're trying to shoot for October. That's our major push attempt.
Nice. And then where can I see
So
it?
we're going for it in that direction.
Oh, wow, that's watch it the first day.
That part we don't know yet. We know it's going to some platforms,
Okay.
but we don't know exactly which platforms yet.
Right.
So we just signed the contract part of it for distributors. So it's up to the distributors to put into which platforms that's their portion. That's what they do. They'll put into which platforms they're going to put it on. We're hoping for it to go on places like Amazon, Netflix, and certain other platforms, but we gotta wait for them to make that decision.
Right. I'm sure I'm gonna watch that thing on Netflix next month for sure. I hope it's like next month and not.
But make no mistake, once I find out, I'm blasting it everywhere.
I'm sure everyone on my.
I'm definitely blasting it everywhere. Hey guys, you can see it here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I'm sure everyone watching the interview too are gonna be like, yo, we want to see this movie. Especially, I mean, the topic is just, I guess it's just a coincidence too. I mean, it's exciting. So, the topic is great.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because it's funny because the moment I took one of my awards, which was for the at the Chinese movie theater, 1 week after I took that award, that's when everything got shut down in America, and we were like, okay, everybody inside. And it was like,
man.
Yeah, I guess my movie hit a little too close to home at the moment. I was like, I wanted to watch it, not be in it.
Exactly. Yeah, right now we're actually kind of in the movie. I'm sure this would be a movie 10 or 10.
Yeah.
So also, can you give us a little bit about like your background, your run up to this, kind of like some advice you have? I know you talked about the money part. I know you talked about it being a movie business, but also, some of what you've been through, some experiences, like, I don't know, from interning to just seeing different things. Obviously, you didn't just wake up like just, a day before you started this project that said, I want to do this. Obviously, this has been some time in the making. So what would you say to people that is realistic about being in this? Because not everyone's going to make money. Not everyone's going to win awards. People are just going to run around in circles till they're 100 years old, or even if they're lucky enough to be 100 years old. What do you have to say to these people, because it's an industry that a lot of people want to be in.
Right. Yeah. I would say to those people, number one, don't give up, because
Okay.
I will share a quick I guess anecdote. Because as you know, one of the times I've interned at the Chris Rock show.
Right.
My first step into this world was the Chris Rock show. I was interning there while I was at NYU, and one of the things that I've learned from there, which I didn't do at the time, but I've learned later, was that I made a good impression on everything, and people liked me, and people enjoyed having me around. But the problem I did was it was the head writer, by the way, who told me, like, if you ever need a recommendation or anything for any other jobs in the future, let me know. And I never took him up on that. And I realized, because I said, he was probably saying, they're probably being nice. I'm being nice, he's being nice. And I realized in this business, in this industry, in this business, don't do that. You take people up on their offer. If they're offering you something and it's reasonable, it's not like they're asking for too much or you asking them for too much. Take them up on it. Take them up on, they're trying to help you out because they've been where you were. They've been where you presently are, and they understand how difficult it is to make it through the industry. So if they're going to give you that little helping hand, accept that helping hand. And the other thing I would say is, don't let anybody deter you from it. Don't let anybody, like, another thing that happened at the Chris Rock show, I remember one person was telling me that I was too nice. And they feared that I wouldn't make it because I was too nice. And they kind of said that's what they feared. They said that, you look at the Chris Rock show and you see this, and the film business world is not like this. This is an anomaly where it's so nice and everything is so upscale and it's so, friendly and everything's happening nicely. It's not like this. You're going to have bad experiences, and I don't want you getting hurt because you're too nice of a person. And you may look at that and you may go, oh, that's a deterrent. And it was a little bit for me. And actually it took, unfortunately, for my half sister, basically my sister, as far as I'm concerned, passed away before I realized that you can't take life for granted. You got to go for what you want. And it wasn't until her passing that I realized, and I remember her telling me that there were some things that she wasn't happy for, some things she regretted, she wished she could have done differently. And I was like, I don't want those regrets. You're already probably doing what you may or may not want to be doing. So you might as well go try to do what you want to do. So, and that's the way I looked at it as well. And take the plunge.
Did the video cut off for you?
Yeah, it just cut off right now. I was like, what happened, Roy? Are you still there?
You're talking about taking the plunge.
Right.
It says still recording.
It says still recording?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up.
All right.
You hear me? Hello? Hello? And
all right. So you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
I'm on the Zoom. Yeah.
Royal, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me, right? You can't hear me, can you?
All right.
You hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well. I can.
I can hear you. Your face is frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
yeah, I hear you.
Take the plunge.